Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. The big story that we are getting you at the top of this hour. ChatGPT is now opening office in India. In fact, OpenAI, the parent of ChatGPT, it has opened an office in India, and this is the first India office, and that is in Delhi. Why OpenAI is entering India? We'll try and understand that. India, remember, ChatGPT's second largest market, and that is why it is quite crucial, because it is also the world's second biggest AI market. It also has the largest Indian student population who are using ChatGPT, and it is in that context that it becomes very, very important as to what the expansion plan of OpenAI and ChatGPT in India is. Take a look at this report.
In a landmark move, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has confirmed plans to set up its first ever India office in New Delhi later this year. Backed by Microsoft, the company has already registered as a legal entity in India and begun hiring a local team. This announcement comes against the backdrop of Altman's earlier comments in 2023, when he controversially suggested that it was totally hopeless to compete with OpenAI in training foundational AI models. Those remarks resurfaced recently, drawing criticism especially as startups like China's DeepSeek and India's Sarvam AI proved otherwise by building powerful models at lower costs. In early 2025, Altman clarified his remarks, saying they were taken out of context. And now, the India office marks a new chapter. More than just a local presence, OpenAI is deepening its ties with India. Next week, it will host its first ever education summit in the country, with a developer day planned later this year. For OpenAI, India is critical. It's already their second largest market after the United States and one of the fastest growing. In fact, India has the largest student user base for ChatGPT worldwide. Usage here has quadrupled in just the past year. To meet this demand, OpenAI recently launched ChatGPT Go, an affordable subscription at ₹399 per month, with expanded features and stronger local language support. OpenAI faces strong competition in India from rivals like Google's Gemini and AI startup Perplexity, both of which have launched offerings that make their advanced plans free for many users in the market. Altman calls India's mix of tech talent a vibrant developer ecosystem and strong government backing through the India AI mission that perfect recipe for global AI leadership. This New Delhi office is further proof of their commitment. Sam Altman himself has said that India has all the ingredients to become a global AI leader: amazing tech talent, a world-class developer ecosystem, and a strong government support through the India AI mission. For OpenAI and India alike, this partnership is a two-way street, one that could define the future of artificial intelligence for years to come. NDTV Bureau Report.
You might recall that in June 2023, Altman made a controversial statement suggesting it was totally hopeless to compete with OpenAI in training foundational AI models. That remark resurfaced and drew fresh criticism, especially as startups from places like China, with models like DeepSeek, and Indian companies like Sarvam AI began to show that building powerful AI could be done more affordably. But in early 2025, OpenAI's Sam Altman sought to clarify his remarks, stating that his original comments were taken out of context. He acknowledged that the cost of developing AI models is rapidly decreasing, and he now sees India as a potential global leader in the field, recognizing the country's rapid user growth for OpenAI's products. And now here we are. OpenAI, which is backed by Microsoft, has been established as a legal entity in India and has already begun hiring a local team. The company will open its first office in India in New Delhi later this year, cementing its push into its second largest market by user numbers. This is more than just an office opening. It's the latest in a series of steps to deepen their ties with India. In fact, in the coming week, OpenAI will host its first ever education summit in the country with a developer day later this year. OpenAI faces strong competition in India already from rivals like Google's Gemini and AI startup Perplexity, both of which have launched multiple offerings that make their advanced plans free for many users in the market. Perplexity with Airtel, Gemini with all their new Pixel products. But for OpenAI, the Indian market is critical. India is already their second largest market, right after the United States, and one of their fastest growing. In newly shared data from the company, OpenAI stated that in the past year alone, the number of ChatGPT users in India has more than quadrupled, and that India has the largest population of student users worldwide.
Well, what does this move to India mean for in the larger context? We'll try and get a sense of that. I'm currently joined by Bharani Dharan R, the head of AI practice at Dexian India, and also Ananay Batra, the founder and CEO of Listener.ai. Ananay, let me start with you. What does this decision to open an office in India, in a way signal about India's own growing role in the global AI ecosystem? What do you think?
So, like you rightly said, we do have the largest student population of any country. And this is a lot more than the States, this is more than China, this is more than Nigeria, Indonesia, any other developing country, right? So, I mean, just looking at that and looking at what Perplexity has done with Airtel and what Gemini is doing with all their Pixel phones, I think it does make sense as a logical move to launch not only a affordable plan for Indians, but also opening up an office here, which would serve multiple purposes, right? Not only would this be a sort of sales office, this would be a partially tech slash policy office as well, where they try to work with the government to see how they can work well with the student population and also the developer ecosystem as well, right? So we wouldn't only want to be consumers of AI, we would also want to create AI products that are used by the world and not just by Indians. So we do this already at Listener.ai, and also a lot of other companies like Sarvam, etc. are doing this, right? They're building in India for the world. So this is something that I'm particularly excited about.
Mr. Bharani Dharan, beyond being a large user base, what unique advantages does India offer for AI companies like OpenAI and other AI companies as well?
Okay, so first, how I'm looking into that is like how OpenAI is going to contribute to the India OpenAI mission. So I'm just looking into that strategically, right? It's not like another company who's entering into an India, but you could see earlier where the Indian government and the OpenAI was discussed about the India strategic AI mission. Then subsequently, we could see the launch of India AI mission. So now strategically, now the OpenAI is entering into an India. It's not just for a market expansion, but overall globally, how we are going to make a unique global AI leader. So that mission where the India is stepping into it, also the OpenAI mission is to democratize the AI globally. And this is perfectly aligned. And so that is what the 7 pillars of the India AI ecosystem, right? So how the bigger AI companies more aligned with the India's mission. So that is what I'm looking into that in the AI perspective. Okay. And a couple of points, like one is the India's most large user base for the ChatGPT, for the OpenAI. Also, the student base who's leveraging the OpenAI platform is also more compared to the other states or the other countries. So those give us a unique proposition to the adapting to our AI tools as well. Like Perplexity is offering the other additional services to the India, and so we are stepping into more advanced or mature state of leveraging an AI platform, and we are in the situation to push the AI platform to the next level.
Yeah. And, there is also a lot of conversation around affordability and access of these platforms. But back me on this, Mr. Bharani Dharan. Affordability automatically does not translate into, accessibility in this country, right? So, having said that, are there still barriers like digital divide? Are there any language issue? What do you think is happening here?
So, we could answer it in a different way, right? For example, initially when the ChatGPT comes in, like it offers the minimal set of usability. For example, the the non-tech users cannot directly getting into and get access into that. But now when the AI is getting mature, when the more user base are reaching out and enhancing the model, so the model is capable of answering the multi-dimensional or multi-model question. Even now I can ask any language where I can ask questions, and the AI is matured enough to give the response back in the regional language. So that is how the India AI mission is also growing, and same way the OpenAI and other AI models is also enhancing or optimizing from the AI per se. And affordability per se, earlier it was like $20 pack, and now the ChatGPT offers like 399 rupees Indian rupees, where you can pay and use it, and more of the AIs are giving the free access as well on a limited period. So it is maturing on a day by day. In this case.
Okay. Ananay, we've spoken about the students and how a lot of the students in India are using various platforms, including ChatGPT. But what I want to understand from you is that there is a massive student population that is turning to AI tools, whether it is for learning, etc. How should the education system adapt to this?
Right. So a great question. So I think AI tutors will add immense value going forward, say in the next 5 to 15 years, right? And essentially one of the biggest reasons behind this is that all these AI tutors, they have infinite patience, right? You could ask them 1,000 bad or stupid questions and they would still answer with infinite patience, right? And not only that, they would answer after having learned from your sort of learning style and your rate of learning, right? So I think that's a very big, crucial step when it comes to AI tutors, whether it's maths, physics, chemistry, or any other subject, right? So that's one thing that I'm very bullish about. Second, I think educational institutions shouldn't really oppose AI. This is something that's been happening in the States, at least on a collegiate level and also on a school level these days, that, there's a lot of plagiarism happening. People are just entering their questions into ChatGPT, they get the answer, they paste it, that's it, right? But I think it's like a sort of calculator-esque problem where people initially oppose the calculator as well, where they said something like, hey, if you're going to use a calculator to do all the math, what are you going to do with your brain, right? So essentially, I think it's supposed to augment your learning. And again, extremely bullish about the infinite patience part, because again, not a lot of teachers in India or frankly anywhere in the world have infinite patience, right? They don't have infinite time, they don't have infinite patience, they don't have infinite knowledge. So when it that's the future that I'm really excited about. And I think educational institutions, whether it's K to 12 or even collegiate institutions, they should really adapt AI and work together with AI companies to make their learning process better.
Something that is quite interesting and not talked a lot about is the fact that platforms like ChatGPT or other such platforms, they cities who have access to a platform like ChatGPT, and when you are getting it for, say, 200 rupees or 300 rupees a month, that also, in a way, gives a level playing field for students, especially from the smaller towns, especially from background, especially with fewer resources background, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And even when it comes to the language barrier, right? Last I checked, ChatGPT does support about the top most spoken 12 to 15 languages, whether that's Marathi, Punjabi, Gujarati, and any other top language that you can think of, right? So in terms of accessibility, they're not really that bad, right? I mean, almost anyone, anywhere in India could learn anything in their own language, right? So I think that's absolutely great. And especially with the latest models, GPT-5 thinking, if someone was to upgrade from a $399 plan to maybe a $20 a month plan, they'd see a lot of immense value. And I do see that as the plan here. First offer a more affordable plans, and then once people try to find more value, they see a clear ROI from ChatGPT, they try to upgrade their plans to maybe a $20 plan or something else, right?
In fact, Mr. Bharanidharan, there is also the question about regulation. There is also a question about ethics. What safeguards should India put in place, especially to ensure that these AI tools are responsible? Because that is something that we need to be very, very careful about. Very quickly, sir.
That's 100% correct. So it is about how we are going to leverage an AI. So the specific guardrails and everything to be implemented on it, right? So for example, when the OpenAI came, when they introduced the ChatGPT, and everyone was trying to adapt to that, but everyone having a fear as well to how my data is going to be used by someone, even though if it is a OpenAI or a ChatGPT. When the Microsoft you leverage the ChatGPT through Microsoft tenant, then the people are getting some confidence because there was a enterprise, there was a guardrails has been set, and all the ethics has been followed, and all the security has been followed. And also the other perspective, what I'm seeing is that like ChatGPT is the OpenAI, the LLM model. With the base, more startups and more AI models is also be coming on top of it, right? And security and the guardrails is the most vital information or the vital things to be followed for any AI models. And in that case, when the partnership with the India and the OpenAI, definitely all those guardrails will be followed and it will be aligned with an AI mission.
Yeah. All I can say at this point of time is that OpenAI's India push could be a game changer, but will it empower millions or make us more dependent? That is something that still needs to be, debated, and we hope we find that answer very, very soon. Thank you very much for being a part of this discussion, gentlemen.
Thank you.